Welcome back to History Haze. Close your eyes and travel back to the early hours of February 25, 1942. The world is a jagged, dangerous place. It has been exactly 10 weeks since the devastation of Pearl Harbor, and the American West Coast is currently a powder keg of pure, unadulterated paranoia. Everyone from San Diego to Seattle is staring at the dark horizon of the Pacific, waiting for a Japanese imperial fleet that surely must be coming. The government has ordered a total blackout, turning the once glittering City of Angels into a tomb of shadows. No streetlights, no neon signs, just millions of people huddled in the dark. Then, at 2:25 a.m., the silence is shattered. Air raid sirens scream across the basin, a sound that triggers a primal, bone-deep fear. This wasn't a drill. This was the start of a 5-hour nightmare known as the Battle of Los Angeles, a night where the U.S. military spent a fortune in ammunition trying to kill a ghost that refused to die. To understand the haze of 1942, you have to understand the hair-triggered tension of that specific week. Just 24 hours earlier, a Japanese submarine had surfaced off the coast of Santa Barbara and shelled an oil refinery. The threat wasn't a what-if anymore, it was a when. So when regional radar picked up an unidentified object 120 miles off the coast, the military didn't wait for a visual. They plunged Los Angeles into absolute darkness. Massive searchlights, the era's most powerful industrial fingers of light, began stabbing at the low-hanging clouds, searching for the bombers they were certain were there. And then they found it. Hovering over the intersection of Vermont Avenue and 4th Street, a distinct, massive, saucer-shaped object appeared, seemingly trapped in the crosshairs of 8 different searchlights. It didn't move, it didn't drop bombs, it just stayed. The response was a symphony of industrial violence. The 37th Coast Artillery Brigade, convinced they were looking at the vanguard of an invasion, opened fire with everything they had. Anti-aircraft guns, massive 3-inch cannons, unleashed a relentless storm of steel into the sky. In total, over 1,440 rounds of high-explosive ammunition were fired over the residential neighborhoods of Los Angeles. The city literally shook. From the Hollywood Hills to the beaches of Santa Monica, the sky was a strobing mess of orange explosions and cold white searchlight beams. To the civilians on the ground, it looked like the Great War had finally come to their front doors. But the real danger wasn't just in the sky. As the guns thundered, a deadly shrapnel rain began to fall. Red-hot, jagged pieces of exploded artillery shells, some the size of dinner plates, began falling from the clouds at terminal velocity. They smashed through the terracotta roofs of Spanish-style bungalows, dented the hoods of luxury Packards, and sent thousands of people screaming into their crawl spaces. Thousands of residents stood on their porches, paralyzed by the sight of the object hanging motionless in the center of the firestorm. It looked invulnerable. Despite the thousands of shells exploding around it, the craft didn't flinch, it didn't fall. It simply drifted, slowly and silently, toward the ocean. By the time the all-clear sounded at 7:21 a.m., the haze had shifted from a military panic to a logistical disaster. Despite the massive barrage, not a single Japanese plane was recovered. No wreckage, no debris, and no enemy pilots were ever found. The only casualties of the night were 5 civilians, 3 who died in high-speed car accidents during the chaotic blackout, and 2 who suffered fatal heart attacks from the sheer terror of the noise. The military had fired enough lead to sink a carrier group, and their only victim was the city's property value. The next morning, the government gave the world a masterclass in contradiction. The Secretary of the Navy, Frank Knox, stood before a confused press corps and claimed the whole night was a false alarm caused by war nerves. But the Army, led by Secretary Henry Stimson, publicly disagreed, claiming that as many as 5 unidentified aircraft had indeed been over the city. Then came the smoking gun. The Los Angeles Times published a photo that would become the holy grail of ufology, a grainy, honking image showing the searchlights converging on a single, glowing, lens-shaped object. It didn't look like a weather balloon. It didn't look like a Japanese Zero. It looked like something from another world. Was it a meteorological balloon that sparked a mass psychogenic panic? Was it a secret Japanese reconnaissance mission using technology decades ahead of its time? Or was it the first documented encounter with a haze that exists outside our understanding of history? Even today, the Battle of Los Angeles remains the ultimate reminder that in the heat of paranoia, we are often our own greatest enemy. We looked for a monster in the clouds, and when we didn't find one, we built one out of gunpowder and searchlights. If you enjoyed this trip into the sky-high madness of 1942, hit that like button and subscribe for more history that's stranger than fiction. And tell me in the comments, do you think the government was covering up a mistake or something far more alien? I'll see you in the next one.